Okay, continuation for the topic of integration by rational fraction. We do have case C, which is quadratic and under of non-repeated. So if your equation is quadratic and not factorable, meaning to say hindi siya pwedeng daanin into factoring na magiging linear. So mag-stay siya as quadratic equation. So in that case, let's say your denominator is quadratic equation which is not factorable. You will have to use this kind of formula. So this is your denominator. Then your numerator must be in the form of ax plus b. Wherein a and b, yung hahanapin nyo yung value. So kapag nagkaroon ka ng quadratic equation na hindi factorable, you must have a numerator of ax plus b. So for example, you will have to use this concept kay integral of 2x plus 1 over x squared multiplied to x squared plus 1. If you look at the equation, this x squared is quadratic pero pwede siyang gawing linear and repeated cases. So in that case, under si x squared kay case b, which can be 1 over x plus 1 over x squared. Pero, pagdating kay x squared plus 1, that is under ng quadratic pero non-repeated kasi nag-iisa lang yung x squared plus 1 natin. So, in that case, let's say you will have 2x plus 1 over x squared multiplied to x squared plus 1. Sabi ko kanina, x squared can be under ng linear and repeated. So, kapag linear and repeated, pwede siya maging over x plus over x squared. Hihinto tayo dun sa highest degree ni x squared. So, you will have also plus x squared plus 1. So, that is x squared, and x squared plus 1. This is linear, repeated. This is quadratic, non-repeated. So, this can be a tapos b. Since this is quadratic and non-repeated, you will have to use this equation. Kaya lang, we already use a and b, so gagamit tayo ng ibang letters, let's say c and d. So this equation can be cx plus d. So you will have to find 4 values, which are a, b, c, and b. So simplifying this equation by multiplying it to the denominator, which is x squared, then x squared plus 1, you will now have an equation of, multiply this to this side, you will now have 2x plus 1. Then multiply this to the first term, makakancel yung isang x. So ang matitira is a, then x multiplied to x squared plus 1. The next term is plus b. Makakancel sa x squared. Ang matitira ay x squared plus 1. Then for the third term, you will now have plus cx plus d multiplied to x squared. Kasi makakancel si x squared plus 1. Then simplify first this equation before solving the values of a, b, c, d. You will now have 2x plus 1 equated now to a multiplied to x cubed plus x. Then for the b, you will now have x squared plus 1. Then for the c, you will now have c multiplied to x cubed. Then for the d, you will now have multiplied to x squared. So in this equation, we will now use the by-degree method to solve for the values of a, b, c, and d. The highest degree in this equation is third degree, then followed by second, then first, then of course, the constant. So finding the coefficient of the third degree on that side, wala. So you will have 0. Then pagdating kay a, you will have a. Pagdating kay b, wala. Then pagdating kay c, you will have c. Pagdating kay d, wala din. So, done with the third degree. Next is the second degree. Ang second degree dito ay also 0. Wala rin. Then, pagdating kay A, wala tayong second degree. Pagdating kay B, you will have B. Then, pagdating kay D, you also have D. Kay C kasi, wala rin second degree. Then, for the first degree, doon papasok sa 2x, so you will have 2. Then, the first degree here is A. Then, kay B, wala tayong first degree. Tapos, kay C, wala rin tayong first degree. Then, of course, kay B, wala rin tayong first degree. Therefore, you will have the value of A as 2. Then, for the constant, you will now have 1 on that side. Pagdating kay A, we do not have constant. Pagdating kay B, we have constant, so that is B. Then pagdating kay C, wala. Then pagdating kay D, wala. Therefore, the value of your B is 1. So in that case, pwede na natin i-solve si C using the value of A. So that is 0 equals 2 plus C. Therefore, the value of C is negative 2. Then for the B plus D, we may now solve for the value of D. Using the value of D, which is 0 plus 1, 0 equals 1 plus D. Therefore, the value of D is negative 1. So instead of using this equation, we will now use this equation for us to be able to solve for the given integral equation. So our equation now is the value of A is 2. So we will now have 2 over x. And pagdating kay B, you will have 1. So that's 1 over x squared. Pagdating kay C, you will now have negative 2, then x. Si B is negative 1, so that's minus 1 over x squared plus 1. Then this will be multiplied to dx. So in that case, this one is 2 dx over x. If you let u as x, you will have your du as dx. So this is under of ln. Constant si 2, so pwede natin ilagay si 2. Then you will have dx over x, or d over u, which is ln of u, wherein your u is x, so that is ln of x. Then pagdating dito, you will now have plus the integral of x raised to negative 2 dx. Dito, pwede natin itong paghiwalayin. We will now have minus 2, then integral of x dx over x squared plus 1. Then the next one is minus the integral of dx over x squared plus 1. If we solve this, this is under of ln. By letting u as x squared plus 1, you will now have du as 2x dx. Since you need to balance by 1/2, makakancel yung 2 sa labas. Then you will now have du over u, which is ln of u. So you will now have 2, then ln of x. Then pagdating dito, this is power formula. That's u raised to n du. You will now have plus x raised to negative 1 over negative 1. Then dito is negative ln of u, which is x squared plus 1. Then the last term is under of arctan. So that's minus arctan of x plus c. Now all you have to do is simplify this equation. The 2 here can be the exponent of x. That can be ln of x squared. So ito ay pwede ng ln of x squared. So si ln of x squared and negative ln of x squared plus 1, pwede natin pagsamahin. So that will be now ln of positive sa x squared, so nasa numerator. Negative sa x squared plus 1, so dapat nasa denominator siya. So that is ln of x squared over x squared plus 1. Then this one is negative 1 over x. Then minus the arctan of x plus c. So this can be your final answer. Okay, next example, example number 2. We will now have the integral of 4 dx all over the x raised to 4 minus 1. Our denominator is x raised to 4 minus 1. So we will do factoring. X raised to 4 minus 1 is an example of sum and difference of two squares. So this can be the square root of this is x squared. So you will now have also x squared. Then pagdating dito, you will have 1, so this is also 1, then plus and minus, the sum and difference of two squares. So try to evaluate, you will now have x raised to 4, then plus x squared, minus x squared, so minus 1. So x raised to 4, then negative 1, then yung positive x squared and negative x squared maka-cancel. So ang matitira lang is x raised to 4 minus 1. So in that case, your equation now is x squared plus 1. Then the other one is x squared minus 1. So, si x squared plus 1 is the same as x squared plus 1. Pero si x squared minus 1 is also under ng method na ginawa natin kanina. So you will now have, this is x and x, this is 1 and 1. Then you will have plus and minus. So try to evaluate again. This is x squared, then this is negative 1, this is positive x, and this is negative x. So maka-cancel. Ang matitira lang is x squared minus 1. So instead of having x raised to 4 minus 1, our denominator now is x squared plus 1 multiplied to x plus 1 and multiplied to x minus 1. So our equation now is 4 over x squared plus 1 multiplied to x plus 1 multiplied to x minus 1. So if you will analyze the equation or your denominator, you have linear, which is x plus 1 and x minus 1. Since walang naulit, so this is linear non-repeated, which is case A. Pero, kasama pa rin niya si x squared plus 1, which is quadratic. Then, nag-iisa lang siya, so quadratic non-repeated. So, this is the combination of case A and case C. The linear non-repeated and the quadratic non-repeated. So, magkakaroon ng sariling fraction sa x plus 1 and x minus 1. So, that will be A over x plus 1. Then, another one is plus B over x minus 1. Then another fraction for the quadratic. So that is over x squared plus 1. Then following your formula, since ginamit na natin si A and B, we will use another letter, let's say C and D. So this will be Cx plus D. So our equation now must have three different fractions. So simplifying this equation again, by multiplying the whole equation by the denominator of your original equation, which is x squared plus 1 multiplied to x plus 1 multiplied to x minus 1. So multiplying this to this side, ang matitira na lang is 4. Then pagdating kay first term, multiplied to this, ang matitira lang is x squared plus 1 multiplied to x minus 1. Maka-cancel si 8x plus 1, so ang matitira ay x squared plus 1 multiplied to x minus 1. Then for the second term, maka-cancel si x minus 1. Ang matitira is x squared plus 1 multiplied to x plus 1. Okay? Next, for the third term, you will now have cx plus b. Then multiply 2x plus 1 and x minus 1 kasi makakancel si x squared plus 1. So we will now have x plus 1 multiplied to x minus 1, which is equivalent to x squared minus 1. Then simplify first equation. You will now have 4 equated to this one. Simplify this. So this will be x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1. So the multiplier of a is x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1. Then for the b, you will now have, this is x cubed multiplied to plus x squared, then plus x, then plus 1. So you will now have the b multiplier as x cubed plus x squared plus x plus 1. Then pagdating kay c, you will have cx multiplied to this one, so that is plus c. Then x multiplied to x squared, so that is x cubed. Then x multiplied to negative 1, that's minus x. Then pagdating kay d multiplied to this term, you will now have d multiplied to x squared minus 1. Then analyzing the equation, identifying the highest degree, you will now have the third degree, followed by second, then first, then of course, the constant. So you will now have to identify each coefficient. The third degree here is 0, followed by third degree dito, that is a. Then the third degree here is b. Then the third degree here is c. Then pagdating kay d, we do not have the third degree. Then pagdating sa second degree, wala pa rin tayong second degree doon. Then the second degree here is negative a. Second degree here is positive b. Second degree kay c, wala. Pagdating kay d, meron, that is plus d. Then for the first degree, we do not have our first degree ulit dito, so you will have 0. Then the first degree here is a. Then the first degree here again is b. Then the first degree here is negative c. Then pagdating kay d, we do not have our first degree. Then the last one is the constant. You will have 4 equals, this is negative 1, so you will have negative a. This is positive 1, so you will have plus b. C doesn't have any constant, then kay d you will have negative 1, so that is minus d. So you will have your 4 equations with 4 unknowns. So we will try to solve for the values of a, b, c, and d. Let's say this is equation 1, this is equation 2, this is equation 3, and this is our equation 4. Okay. We will now use equation 1 and equation 3. Pag pinansin mo kasi, you have the same A, the same B, pero different sign is C. So, pwede natin cancelin si C. So, all you have to do is add 1 and 3. So, equation 1 plus equation 3, we will now have 0 plus 0, that is 0. So, A plus A is 2A. Then, B plus B is 2B. Then, pagdating dito, C plus negative C, so that is 0, cancel na. So, matitira na lang is 0 equals 2A plus 2B. Next, using equation 2 and equation 4, if you will notice, parehas din sila. Ang pinagkaiba nila is si D. So, pwede natin silang i-add. So, equation 2 plus the equation 4, you will now have 0 plus 4, and that is 4. Equivalent now to negative a plus negative a, that's negative 2a. Tapos, b plus b, that is plus 2b. Then, positive d plus negative d, that is 0. So, knowing that you have the equation of 0 equals 2a plus 2b, and 4 equals negative 2a plus 2b, this is both 2a and 2a. Then having different sign, pwede natin i-add yung dalawang equation para ma-cancel si 2a. So, ang matitira na lang is 4b equals 0 plus 4, and that is 4. Therefore, now, the value of your b is 1. Okay? So, you now have the value of b. Now, try to solve for the value of a using this equation. So, ang mangyayari, you will now have to transpose the other one to the other side. So, that's negative 2a equals 2b. Maka-cancel si 2. Therefore, a is equal to negative b. Okay? So, therefore, your a is negative 1. Next, after having this, a and b, pwede na natin isolve si c at si d. So, you will use equation 1. If you use equation 1, you have the value of a and b. So, the value of a is negative 1 and the value of b is 1. You will now have 0 equals negative 1 plus 1 plus c. Tama? So, a is negative 1, b is 1, then you have to find the value of c. So, maka-cancel to. Therefore, the value of c is 0. Next is d. We may use equation 2, and that is negative a, which is negative of negative 1. So that is 0 equals negative of negative 1. Then plus b, which is 1. Then plus d. We will now have positive 1 plus 1. So that is 0 equals 2 plus d. Therefore, your d is negative 2. So you have the values of a, b, c, and d. A is negative 1, b is 1, c is 0, d is negative 2. Now we will now apply that values dito kay equation. So magkakaroon na tayo ng integral of a is negative 1, so that's negative 1 over x plus 1. Then pagdating kay b, you will have 1, so that's plus 1 over x minus 1. Then pagdating kay c, we have 0, so cancel na natin cx. So ang matitira na lang is d over x squared plus 1, which is negative 2. So that's plus negative 2 over x squared plus 1. So this is dx. Now, trying to solve the integral of this, so negative 1 is constant. You will now have the u value of x plus 1. Your du is dx. So, ang mangyayari is dx over x plus 1. The same as du over u, so that's under of ln. So, you will now have negative ln of your x plus 1. The second term is the same. You will have u as x minus 1. Then your du is dx. Okay? So, you will now have dx over x du over u. So, you will now have plus ln of x minus 1. So, this term is under of arctan. Since constant si negative 2, ilalabas natin, that's negative 2 arctan of x plus c. So ln, pwedeng pagsamahin. So for the final answer, our final answer is ln. Positive is the numerator, negative is the denominator. You will now have x minus 1 over x plus 1 minus 2 arctan of x plus c.